Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Yondercraft. I've been busy. Figured it was probably about time I started this. This is the interior walls. The exterior is going to be a little more put together. But, you know, I don't have a water bucket on me. I figured it was about time we probably got this bit started. Especially because it'll enable me to do the biodome, and once I get the biodome done, I can start sectioning off areas for other dinosaurs. Probably going by what period they're from. So less dinosaurs and more prehistoric dinosaur ancestors and other creatures of the lake. I think it's gonna be fun. That's full. So we're gonna start with probably not enough concrete and some stone. And, you know, it's been a fair bit since we've done a time lapse, so I see no reason why we can't do one now. Okay, so I finished the walls, even did this little section over here, and then something I worked on until I ran out of concrete that you can probably sort of see is I added a bunch of ceilings. And then in my hotbar I have netherrack because I finally laid out, the biodome. We're gonna have several because I realized that this is genuinely based off of the Earth, and different dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals had vastly different, like, concentrations of oxygen. Like, back when big bugs were a thing and you had 9-foot-long millipedes and meter-long, or meter-wide dragonflies, we had like a 21%, I think it's believed, oxygen concentration. So, I'm gonna need biodomes for things like that. Now, I'm 90% certain that, like Jurassic, Cretaceous, perhaps even Triassic era dinosaurs and other animals would have definitely survived with our concentration of oxygen today, just because the Earth doesn't change that fast. We're talking on the order of like 200 to 300 million years when oxygen was at 21% concentration. But, like, there's still definitely going to be animals where the jungle isn't the biome they should be living in. Most of them I will be able to get away with it, which is why I selected to settle in the jungle. For most of its history, Earth has had a fairly tropical environment, and especially because I'm focusing on the line of animals that will eventually lead towards the dinosaur family. I think it's called Dinosauridae, but don't quote me on that. They're mostly tropical and live in jungle. Would you die already? And live in jungles or jungle-like environments. So the jungle works for most of them, and I won't have to build tons of biodomes. Like, I can absolutely make that a Triceratops hill. But for animals from, like, I want to say Cambrian and Ordovician, but those were still aquatic-only life. And I don't quite remember what the early land life, what era that was from. Lots of names and stuff. But, you know, like immediately post-Ordovician, I believe, is when we started getting animals wandering up onto land. I study anthropology, not paleontology, so I'm much better with, like, the Holocene and the Anthropocene and the Paleocene instead of what comes after the Ordovician. But, you know, I'll know what comes after. I'll know what era that you first had terrestrial dinosaurs, because I'll name this dome after it, and we'll just make some domes. In fact, we'll make another one, actually, because I want to keep my herbivores and my predators separate. And I want to make sure that there's, like, no chance for my predators to get in with my herbivores. So we're probably actually going to have some pretty serious doors here, like 3x3 seamless piston door. Stuff like that. I know there's ways to do it, and I can easily hide it. I can just make this a really thick base and stick a piston door in here and have it activate when you hit a note block, because dinosaurs can't hit note blocks. So I think we'll make another circle on camera here after I've babbled about prehistoric life for God knows how long. This one's gonna be a little smaller. It's 332. So, yeah. And then I'll just use piston doors to ensure that there's no way the dinosaurs are going to be able to screw this up. Of course, this is also like exactly the premise of Jurassic Park and that whole series of movies. So I understand that it's likely that there's a chance my redstone could fail, but we're not gonna bank on that because I've actually become pretty decent at redstone. Wow, this used almost exactly 64 netherrack. The oceans I might have to sector off and create like pools, so to speak, where the water resembles earlier eras. But I mean, Anomalocaris is doing just fine. Let's add another slightly smaller dome. This will be a 3-2. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I have my first 3 biodome layouts. I don't have enough glass for any of these. Pardon me. But I do have enough of these to definitely pick where the doors are gonna go. Okay, that tree's definitely gonna have to come down. And in fact, we'll handle that now because it's gonna get in the way of the path. I'm not really worrying about cutting down trees because I have so many jungle saplings that if I want more of these big trees, I can just plant a jungle sapling. And the amount I have is so ridiculous that there's really no reason for me to be like, oh no, I gotta conserve my jungle saplings. Like, that's not what I have to do. I have to utilize my jungle saplings because I think I have a solid single chest worth just from clearing out trees. And not these trees, I mean the smaller trees. The trees that go in between these trees and tell you that you've got a lot of trees. Alright. Let's see. So, if this is this... Oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. Lovely. Lovely. This is perfect. Alright. And then we'll do a little bit of terraforming inside the dome. So I'll grab my dirt and my grass. And we'll work on that. Hi, egg. This has to be like this. And then we'll just floor. Oh, wow, I measured that well. I think the walls are probably just gonna be white inside. Just plain white concrete powder. One, because I'm running low on black dye again and I'm getting sick of having to go to the ink farm. Especially because I definitely don't AFK enough for it to be like fair trade that I take this much ink. No, we'll make that a regular. But also because it's all the way at sci-fi. Okay. Here's another jungle sapling. Now to connect these. And I might make underground pathways just to ensure that no one gets hurt tending to the pre-dinosaurian reptiles here. Because, like, even though they're herbivores, they're dangerous. They're wild animals. As much as I can wish that perhaps it would be harmless to have people interacting with them, they are wild animals whose behavior is unpredictable. I didn't want the diorite, I wanted the andesite. Wild animals do not have predictable behavior. You can study them all you want, but they will throw off the prediction at some point or another. It's not perfect, and that's why wild animals are dangerous. So I'll definitely have to add, what do you got? Holy floor, jack-o'-lantern's nice. I'll definitely add some stuff that'll help make the whole interacts with dinosaurs thing safer. But you know, gotta make sure we're ready for dinosaurs before we can do that. I'll put a stone here so I can get the middle bit in because I do have enough for that. Alright. And now, I don't need that. Gonna get these out. Let's see. This is gonna be herbivores, so they're probably gonna need trees. So most of this can stay the same. This is going to be an extremely dangerous area. Okay, so I cannot block off my doors. As interesting as that would look, that's dangerous. That is against OSHA regulations. And we sort of have to listen to those because, you know, I'm American. We have OSHA. And even though most Americans who run businesses don't have standards, I'm not most Americans who run businesses. I have standards. I can't let anyone who might come into contact with this area, or perhaps end up working here in the future, get paid less than $15 an hour, and come into contact with dangerous wild animals without, like, clear escapes. Because the thing about the doors that I want to install is they're really fast. They are incredibly fast doors. You hit the note block once, I need to go get more dirt, and you're good. It opens in like a couple of seconds. And then you hit it again and it's closed in a couple of seconds. And as long as we don't go with, as long as the, animals that we, house and care for are, fairly large, which they typically were because the earth was warm and it was, heavily oxygenated, meaning that, perfect for, ectothermic, organisms to just rock out in. They had a ball of a time. It was amazing. It was the perfect whatchamacallit, this isn't my dirt bin, this is. It was the perfect biome for them. It was the exact... It was everything they needed to grow to massive sizes, and that means, like, we're talking, like, 1.5 meters tall, and upwards of 2 to 3 meters long. Which is pretty long, because that's, like, 4 3/4-ish feet tall, and 9 feet long. Don't quote me on that, though, like... I'm doing these conversions in my head with what I remember, and it's not very accurate. I'm much better at inches to centimeters, or Fahrenheit to centigrade, which is honestly expected, all things considering. Like, when you study anthropology and archaeology, your stuff's a lot smaller. It makes a lot more sense to use centimeters and be able to convert that to inches than to use meters and be able to convert that to feet. But I still have enough of an interest in paleontology for me to know how to convert things to feet. Anyways, animals in prehistoric America got to ridiculous sizes, even when they were rather new to being on land. And, you know, I'm not gonna judge them for it. They really just went off. You know, they said, what if we were massive? And, you know, kudos to them. What if they were massive? They'd be pretty cool. Alright. Little bit to this side. Can't have it be too easy to navigate. Alright. So I'm not gonna put too much water in here, just because terrestrial animals aren't particularly known for being able to swim amazingly well. That's typically something you see in aquatic animals and amphibians, like fish and sea-dwelling mammals and stuff like that. And, you know, good for them. We're dealing with terrestrial proto-reptiles, I believe they were called. The pro-reptilians. So we need them to not be drowning. Of course, given their size, I can probably get a fairly deep river before we even hit the whole danger of drowning thing. Which, nifty, to be honest. This is gonna be amazing. Alright, let's get rid of the torches under here, and then I'll torch it up again when we're done. And before I actually resurrect the animals, one, I'll have to finish the room in the labs, the areas of the lab dedicated to that, which will be fairly easy because the entire floor is complete. It's just a matter of getting the machines in, hiring some armor stand workers, stuff like that. Let's see, this needs to be done, and then a little bit like that. Alright. So. I don't know what animals are going to go in here yet. The idea is we get more than one species of herbivore per biodome, with perhaps some small predators who have no chance of hunting said herbivores. But ideally, pardon me, ideally we group herbivores together with like 2 or 3 species, and then in a separate smaller biodome or 2 we have some predator species. Or perhaps omnivores and predators, or herbivores of different types, and then predators. The whole thing is I need to keep my predators separate and contained, because there's an entire movie series about what happens when you don't do that. And I don't want to be the park owner who doesn't do that. Especially considering we're a laboratory, not a park. We're doing this for the science. Alright. So we will just... ta-dum! And then maybe over here we'll have some, like, stuff. I don't know. Alright, well, this is a fairly long episode. And I ended up recording this bit a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, so I'll have to trim it up. So let's climb up again. And let's climb up here, and we'll do the outro from up here. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you're part of the morning crew, I hope you have a great day. If you're part of the evening crew, I hope your day has been great. And if you're part of the afternoon crew, well, I hope your day is going alright. I've been Ruby Robotic, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode.